I gotta review interspecies reviewers. Oh yeah, wait, I already did the 11th video isn't out yet. What the fuck am I gonna talk about now?
You could talk about me.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm the sponsor goblin.
First off, how did you get into my house? Second, do I have a sponsor?
No.
Okay. I guess, like, call me if you do?
No.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Doujinshi, and welcome back to another episode of Hentai Reviews, the only series where we said one word once in every single hentai we've ever reviewed, and then we decided to say it 3 more times. That was the weirdest opening I've done because it made no sense whatsoever. But speaking of saying something 3 times, today we're going to be reviewing a little series that was recommended by a certain subscriber of us, thank you buddy, called just straight up Kanojo x Kanojo x Kanojo Episode 1. There are more than one episode to this, and thank Christ. You see, this is a little series. Let's go ahead and just get into the statistics of it, because this is a bit longer, and I want to see if I can get through this. You see, this little ditty is done by our friends over at MS Pictures with a total of 19 categories, notable of which are job fair, which, since I haven't explained it all that much, but I'm going to do it anyway. Job fair is my term for when you do a lot of different jobs. Jobs with your hands, jobs with your feet, jobs with your boobs. Pretty much, if you can get your hand between them, there's a job waiting for them to work. And a lot of people are applying. And a lot of different gang shit, like gang banging, all the time. Wow. And finally, cosplay. Which cosplay I honestly don't think belongs in this one. Mostly because, I mean, at one point a girl wears a mask. And then in the other, she's just goth. Which I feel like I need to get into later. And it runs at a total of 29 minutes and 59 seconds. Couldn't it just been the 30 minutes? This is the kind of shit you see corporations pulling on people to make sure they don't get that last hour of wage. I don't know where that came from, but I feel like, I'm not cutting it. That being said, let's just jump right into it. You see, this little fella starts off with our main character. I believe I'm gonna call him Shiki because that's funnier than than the name that they call him, because that's also part of his name. And he's going to live with his new, I want to say new family. He's not being adopted. He's just going to live there. I don't really remember if they said anything about his parents, but he's probably just going to live there for at least the year. Here, he goes to live with some old childhood friends, essentially just 3 sisters, who, sadly, their parents are no longer around, their father having passed away, and I believe their mother also recently passing away. And as he goes to walk up to the door, he has this whole little, like, knock knock, is anybody there? I'm here. And then he goes in, he's like, door was open. Hello? 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 There's an open door. Hello? And then there is a red-haired woman, otherwise known as Akina, who is the stereotypical, well, you know, red-haired childhood friend that we all see in these sorts of things, and she's doing the, like, oh no, you caught me! But I really wanted it to be like the door opens, and it's just the drip Goku thing. I really wanted it to be that so fucking much that I would have just set 10 out of 10 right there. Yeah, 5 out of 10? Fuck that. 10 out of 10. But with this, they have their whole little like, oh shit, and then they all meet later at the dinner table and just kind of discuss their whole little thing. Like, hey, there's a little bit of flirting going on back and forth, getting to know the family, really. Really, the basic, childhood friend, red-haired Akina, the smaller-breasted, also shorter and goth, I want to say lolly, but there's really, everybody in hentai is above the age of 18, and I do not take criticism on that. Mafuyu, and the bustier, older, I want to say the older sister archetype, because I would call her a MILF, but then again, she's also not a mother, but she kind of plays the role of the mother because she's the one that goes to work when she's also the oldest in the room, so I'm going to call her the MILF. Her name is Natsumi. She is amazing. Head empty, boobs fill, just wants to have a nice family dinner, and then works her ass off when she needs to. Respect where respect is needed. You see, afterwards, they kind of all get their little bearings together. All the three of them that still go to school, and then Natsumi going to work. As they all kind of head to school, they get their whole little, like, going and figuring out their places and getting their own little spots. The two of the sisters knowing where they need to go, and him just kind of walking around. Later on during the point, he decides, like, hey, I'm gonna go see if I can find Akina. And as he's, like, walking through all the different areas, he finds one of the girls that Akina was talking to, just out, like, later in the day, and she's just squatting in the, close to the grass, next to where the pool is, and she's just letting it rip. She's taking a piss, just straight there. No, there's probably bathrooms within, like, 200 feet of her, but nope, she's taking a piss, just right then and there. And he's like, whoa, that's weird. And then just moves past like it's nothing. And then this literally never comes up again past that point. That was just there. I guarantee that was because this tag is specific. There's, of the 19 tags, one of them is water sports. But I feel like that has to take a very, like, active role. You can't just have, like, that person took a piss. Yes, it's now a golden shower anime, which it is not. And I defy you to say otherwise. Afterwards, later on in the night, as main character Shiki is, like, waking up in the morning, he's like, God, I gotta take a piss. I was just remembering that day. I was like, she was right. I should have taken a piss. Yes, and as he's, like, walking down the hallway, he sees the classic, open door. Gotta go check it out. Opens the door slightly and realizes it's Mifuyu's room, and she is getting up in it. It being her vagina, because she is 2 fingers deep, and she is going to town. Which leads into scene number 1. Scene number 1 runs from 17 minutes and 15 seconds and goes all the way to 7 minutes and 50 seconds. 35 seconds, not necessarily the best, really short, but I feel like she's short, so it evens out. And then, afterwards, after the, that moment, that was weird. On his bus ride back to school, I believe, he's heading straight for school on the bus. Big crowded, the Japanese stereotype, really, really small buses, so everybody's all, like, packed together. And they kind of, main character Shiki and Akina are kind of tightly knit, and they lucky pervert their way into the next scene. You see, what I mean by that is lucky perverting is the thing that I got from Manakitsu Happening, where it's just like, whoop, random coincidence, dick in between in where it needs to be. Because they're both standing still, not touching, nobody doing anything, and then the train slows down a little bit. Her panties drop a little bit, his dick is fully erect, goes between her thighs, and then they're just sitting there like, well, I guess we're doing this. And she's like, a little bit. So, immediately after that, they just start going at it, which is scene number 2. Scene number 2 goes from 8 minutes and 40 seconds to 9 minutes and 40 seconds. It's a total of a full minute. We're getting a little bit longer out here. And then, naturally after that, they don't really talk about that afterwards. And then, well, they do. Afterwards, while they're walking, like, home from school, they, like, bring it up, and she just, and Akina says, what the hell? Why would you do that? I'm so embarrassed. And then runs off into traffic. Because this is like the one chick from from the Devil's Rejects who's like, help, run into traffic. Naturally. It's the only thing he can do. So afterwards, he saves her, gets her out of the way, and then it cuts to later on that night where he's like, God, what was today? I gotta go to the bathroom again. There's only one thing I can do. And he walks by, and he sees that the door to Mifuyu's room is still open. So he goes to peek in, and as soon as he does, he gets jump scared by her in a fucking xenomorph mask. And when I say it's a xenomorph mask, it's a legally distinct one, but it's a fucking xenomorph mask if I've ever seen one. It's the penis head. Everybody knows it. Knows it. Which I think is the reason why cosplay is in this, and it's a funny fucking reason, because he's like, wonder if she's perving out, and she just like, and it's kind of funny if you look back on it. But as soon as they see, and she's like, man, you gotta stop being a pervert. Be a real man. And then they just start going at it again. With more foot than anything else, which is scene number 3. Scene number 3 goes from 11 minutes and 25 seconds to 13 minutes and 55 seconds. See, we're getting longer. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Getting damn respectable nowadays, now ain't you worried about it? The next day, he kind of feels a little bit bad about, like, you know, Natsumi being... Yeah. Natsumi being the only one, like, supporting the family, so he decides to go and help out as much as he can down at their ice cream shop, which, sadly, their dearly departed father left for them. And as he goes down there to help out as much as he can, and they realize it's middle of summer, but they're also not getting a lot of customers because she's not a great advertiser, apparently, and she's not, like, business savvy. So they decide to head into the back and start cleaning up a little bit of stuff, which, honestly gotta say, she's a little bit more gung-ho about getting together than he is. And damn if I don't respect it. Woman knows what she wants and goes at it, because they're alone for, like... So... Are your hormones going crazy? She's like, yeah. Let's do it. Take your pants off. And they just start going straight at it right then and there. Respect to my girl. She knows what she wants. And that leads into scene number 4. Scene number 4 goes from 16 minutes and 15 seconds to 19 minutes and 15 seconds. Total of 3 minutes. Like I said, he's getting longer. It's a grower, not a shower. You see, afterwards, he kind of, later on in the day, he's like, man, I'm going to start helping out as much as I can. She's like, yeah, but we just don't get a lot of business. This is around the dinner table again, if you don't know. And as they're kind of going at their dinner table talk, they're like, hey man, what if we, like, made an ice cream truck? Dude, it's summer, we just drive around. We're right next to the beach. We can get all the shit done. We can, like, actually get business. And she's like, that's a good idea. And then they wrap up dinner and they're like, it's so sweet, we're all gonna go to bed. And then main character, Shiki, decides to go help out Akina, who is asleep. He's going to check on her, being like, yeah, she's nice. She's a good egg. And as he turns around, a little hand reaches out and, like, pulls him into the covers while she's still asleep, because that was a reflex. I've never went sleep grabbing before, but that's a weird way of sleep paralysis. I can't move. Yoink! Like, I don't know what that is. But you see, after that, she wakes up and is like, what's going on? And he's like, you pulled me in here. And she's like, no, you're a baka. And naturally, them being together leads to just the sweetest sex scene together. Because, god damn, they're so light. They're so sweet. They're just like, they're vanilla and vanilla going... It's so cute. Which leads into scene number 5, where they're all in their bed, ready to go. And scene number 5 starts at 22 minutes and 30 seconds and goes all the way to 27 minutes and 40 seconds. 4 minutes and 10 seconds, finally at full mast. And then afterwards, it's a nice happy ending right there, with them all heading off to different classes, different places in the world, and then they decide to end the episode right there. So that was great. And let's go ahead and get into the reviews, because I want to talk about this one. Let's go ahead. First off, let's talk about the animation. The animation's a 9 out of 10. This is, like, it is buttery smooth. There are scenes in this that, like, it's such a good palate cleanser when you watch something bad and then the next thing that comes up is just so damn good. Like, this is so chef's kiss. Just make the silky smooth. It is so fucking good. I can't really praise it enough without actual respect for the craft of animation, which I know is hard as hell, but damn, I need to know more about it before I can start saying good shit. So let's go ahead and get into the next one. The characters and story. Now, this is very much like an introduction to the characters sorts of things, and it really shows because they're distinct. The older sister of it is very airheaded because she has to work a lot. She's not, like, constantly firing on all cylinders like all the other ones are. Yeah, she's, like, head empty, boobs full. Oh, let's go to work. But she's also taking care of everybody because she's a sweet person. The middle of the two, Akina, being this childhood friend, sort of just, like, sweet and bubbly, ready to go. Don't think lewd things, baka, and then runs into traffic so she gets murdered. That's kind of funny because of how stupid it is. And that's kind of her. She's just funny and stupid. And then Mufuya, who I think is at least number 2. Oddly enough, the childhood friend is the 3rd lowest one in the group, which is kind of weird. But the sisters are the top 2. And that Mufuya being just the goth sister. We all know that one. The weird one that's like, man, you're gonna do some weird shit to my butt. That's the vibe I get from her, and I'm kind of into it. Very into it. That is, I love goth girls. Goth girls, anybody out there goth? Respect. Respect. That being said, all the characters, that's an 8 out of 10. The reason it's not higher is because it's not a super gripping story. It's just the characters that you're there for. Story, slice of life. That's about how much it is. And the writing, not very great. Like, good characters, but I feel like there could have been more. Like, attachment or jokes. Either way, you could have invested me more with any of those 2 things. And then let's get into the actual reason everybody's here. The plot. Now, I'm going to be a little mean on this one. The plot itself is a 7 out of 10. It's the lowest score in this whole thing. Not necessarily because it's bad, but because it has 19 categories, and a large amount of them are there for fluff and for show. Water sports, I wasn't looking around for it, but when it did show up, I'm like, that's kind of cheap. Cosplay, I was expecting Sailor Moon cosplays to show up in the middle of them going at it. Love is the number of keys, I feel like earns the cosplay because the girl literally shows up in a work uniform and is going at it with the dude. This is not one of those scenarios. This is like she had a xenomorph outfit, or she had a xenomorph head, scared the dude, took it off, and then they just started like foot job, which is a little weird, but understandable. So I feel like it misuses a lot of the tags. There could have been so much more if all of it was incorporated into the actual product, but unfortunately we got like 60% of the tags actually used in the scenes themselves, which is sucky, but like, I understand. You only have a limited number of runtime. That also being kind of weird because this is 30 minutes long. Feel like they could have like touched it up with each scene. But overall, yeah, let's just get to the overall score. The overall score being an 8 out of 10. This is a great episode, and I can only be more excited for the next episode that comes out. I know the next episode usually isn't better than the first, but I can hope so much because I really like this one, and I'm looking forward to the next one. 8 out of 10, great start. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I'm gonna do a quick outro this time. Thank you everybody for giving me any sort of chance watching these videos. It is so fucking fun doing this and being goofy when I don't need to be, even when I have low energy. It's just so nice. Thank y'all for being here. It has been an honor and a privilege to do everything that I am here for, and let's go ahead and end it. Have a nice day. Don't be a dick. There's too many of them. And wash your fucking hands. I've been the Doctor. Peace.